Hi, this is Bethany Gagne, founder of the Albany Peace Project. And today I'm here with Europa Baker, who was one of our meditation leaders last year, and we really enjoyed her meditation, so we invited her here back. Europa, you're staying at the Kripalu Center in Stockbridge. Can you tell people about the Kripalu Center and just the amazing work that's being done there?
Sure, yeah, happy to. So I work as an intern in the School of Yoga, which is really the heart, the core of Kripalu Center, which is a center for yoga and health. And it's really nationally renowned for its school and for the retreat lifestyle and amenities that it holds. And so people flock from all over the world just to stay a couple days or take a program with an amazing presenter, ranging from shamanism to yoga to mindful writing, to yoga, golf. Yeah. It's like anything goes really at Kripalu. And I really know a lot about the School of Yoga, which is what rolls out the 200 and 500 hour teacher trainings, and those run throughout the year. And it's probably the biggest school of yoga in the country.
Wow, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised from what you hear. So we were talking about how you've been an intern there and how living in the community enables you to take your practice a little deeper. Can you tell people what you were telling me about that?
Sure, yeah. It's actually not something that I talk about a lot, but why not?
Right. Yeah, right.
So as I was telling Bethany, Kripalu is a really unique environment to live and work really across the board. Live, work, sleep, eat, everything in between. So I have some things that I don't have to worry about. I don't really have to worry about paying the gas bill or worrying about a roof over my head or food. There's beautiful buffet lines with 3 meals a day. So I really have an opportunity to dive really deep into my own personal practice and my own self-inquiry. So through that, I've found that I can cultivate an immense sense of sensitivity and self-awareness that I find is difficult in the outside world. And I'm saying the outside world, but really Kripalu is a part of the world. It's just a unique environment.
Right.
In which
I can see why that would be.
Is.
I often think about that as I go around and manage the many different roles in my life. How, yes, I can imagine how that would completely shift all your practice. So that's a powerful thing. Anyway, so keep going.
Yeah, so the biggest thing in my personal practice is cultivating a sense of witness consciousness. Also related to the kosha system, there's a 5-level or 5-sheath system that yogis relate the body to. So it's body, breath, mind, witness, and the bliss. And so you progressively move through these layers to, inherently achieve that state of oneness and togetherness with both self and others. So I've been really diving into that Vijnana Maya Kosha, the witness layer. And that helps to filter through my world in a way that really helps me to cultivate conscious choice and conscious action in the world, and see how my place and my actions and the things that I'm doing can actually create a shift rather than contributing to either my own lack of health or something in the world that is deprived. I'm really conscious of the things that I do, the words that I say, and witnessing all of that, so I'm not incredibly attached to it, and I'm also not getting swept up in it. But I can take a couple steps back inside of the witness and be that non-judgmental observer, which really helps to, again, as I said, make conscious choices and be in active engagement with the world. So it's both saying, okay, here's this thing in front of me, and that is what it is, but rather than disassociating and pulling myself back and saying, oh, it is what it is, I can't do anything about it, I'm saying it is what it is, and how do I engage with that in a way that is helpful rather than harmful. So I'm actually really engaged with the things that are in my life and the things that are around me as well as inside of me.
You know, that's what a wonderful gift. You know, I often, you know, I'm thinking about this as far as how much of our mind is often occupied with maybe bills or schedule or keeping the roof over the head, and in an environment like a retreat environment, you know, your foods are taken care of, you know, your shelter's taken care of, you don't have to worry about, you know, mowing the lawn or anything. So you know, to have that wonderful gift of being able to kind of just focus on interacting with people and just really what's going on and becoming more aware, like you're saying, about the witness. So earlier you were talking about how working more with the witness consciousness, and tell people about what happens, you know, as far as identifying versus not identifying, being in the witness, and how helpful that is.
Well, for me, I think being in the witness consciousness is incredibly helpful to begin to drop back a little bit from, for me personally, in my perspective, from my judgments, my limiting beliefs, my ways in which that I separate from the world, the ways in which that I pull myself out of a situation just because I am afraid to feel it completely. So when I'm resting in my witness, I have the opportunity to be both the witness and the experience at the same time. So I'm not completely inside of my experience, completely identifying with my experience, and I'm also not completely disassociating. I'm resting in those two worlds. So for me, I'm working on a lot of shadow work. If I might offer this small story, Carl Jung created this idea about the shadow, and he talked about this story where a man is, you know, it's late at night, it's dark, and a man drops his keys near the entryway of a building. And he's looking for his keys, and there's only one light at the entryway of the building, and so he's looking for his keys right at the space where the light is, and someone else comes up and he's like, hey, you know, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I dropped my keys, I'm looking for my keys. And he said, you know, where did you drop them? And the man pointed to the other direction saying, I dropped them over there. And he said, well, why are you looking here? He said, because this is where the light is. And so I guess what I'm curious about is, am I really only comfortable looking in the place that there's light, the place that I'm comfortable and easy being? Or can I look into those places that are shadowed and that are difficult to really be with? And the more and more that I dive into that, I'm noticing and experiencing that as I build and strengthen that witness consciousness, the more I can be with those difficult parts of myself and the difficult parts of the world, and also be with the bliss, you know, really completely enjoy when I'm enjoying something. And a big Kripalu-ism is something called riding the wave. And there's a system to going through the wave called Brifwa. So breathe, relax, feel, watch, allow. And I might even do a meditation about that. But so there's two peaks of the wave. There's like the crest of the wave, which is the high, you know, bliss state, and then there's the bottom of the wave, which is, you know, maybe not so much the bliss state. And for me, I'm really trying to bring the two together.
It's well put.
Experience the wave completely,
but
can I bring a little bit of that bliss into that place that is a little shadowed, a little light into the shadow, and then vice versa, so I find a balance.
You know, that's why they sometimes say meditation is called fearlessness training, right? Because the more that we train, I mean, this takes great courage to do what you're doing, you know? I mean, this is why the substance abuse problem is so horrible, and, you know, like, this is why people, you know, And so I'm so grateful that you're bringing this out, because that's the power of meditation. Isn't it right there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's transforming you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the more that we sit with ourselves, get to know ourselves, the more that we can be in the world.
Yeah.
And in really active, conscious engagement, you know, and that's why this project is so wonderful, because we're bringing together that collective energy, that collective consciousness that is saying, yes, we want to transform, we want to change the world, really. And how do we do that? We're in that inquiry, that play of, okay, let's sit, let's experiment. How does that change my internal world, and how does that internal world reflect and effect the external world, and vice versa.
Right. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Europa, so much for sharing today, and I'm certainly looking forward to your meditation, and really great stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.